Apparently, the Trump regime has been looking to cover up any mention of a certain president of the United States in the Epstein files, and I'm not talking about Bill Clinton. No, I'm actually talking about Donald Trump. Okay, so if you didn't already get that. But anyway, according to Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, he alleges that FBI personnel were actually ordered to flag any mentions of Donald Trump in the Epstein files, which, again, at first, the regime's like, oh, they totally exist, and then, oh, they actually don't exist, and then, okay, they kind of exist, but they exist, but were written by my political enemies, Obama, Comey, Biden, all that stuff. And so, yes, okay, they exist, but anything on there is not good. It was not real, fake news, literally fake Epstein list. There is no client list, and if there is, it is fake. Okay, yeah, I know their responses are all over the place, but I mean, we should expect that. Okay, but anyway, now after Durbin came out with that little nugget of information saying, "Hey, whoa, we got some issues here, right? With the Epstein client list that you claim doesn't actually exist." And then you had legal analyst Allison Gill following up by putting out the call on her Blue Sky for anything to kind of corroborate what Durbin was saying. And of course, she says that the response to that was completely overwhelming. Quote, "When I saw that over 1,000 people had been put to work reviewing the Epstein files, I put out a call on my Blue Sky account. In the 24 hours since, I've received several messages, including from a former analyst that was assigned to review the files. And a few things stood out to me." Okay, before I get into that, for one, the files absolutely exist. And secondly, you had over 1,000 employees that were assigned to review them for simply to find out Donald Trump's name in the list and then remove it. That is a serious amount of manpower that otherwise could have been used to do something, I don't know, useful, to fight child trafficking, which the Trump administration, by the way, has cut. They cut efforts to fight against child sex trafficking. Oh boy. And yeah, I know there's supposed to be the administration that is trying to protect children and go after the pedos. Well, they're not doing that. They're protecting them. They're protecting them. Insanity. Then, yeah, or they could be going after, national security threats, of which there are, possibly as a result of, I don't know, Trump bombing Iran. So there might be some national security threats as a result of that whole thing, that he has created, all that. Oh boy. But no, instead of doing any of that, they are stuck reviewing the Epstein files, not to try to punish anyone on that list, but just to try to find any mention of Trump within the cache of documents and get rid of it, to scrub any mention of the president from these files. Again, he's in there. Oh, absolutely he's in there. I mean, you can't be friends of Epstein for as long as Trump has been a best friend to Epstein without being mentioned in these files at all. Now, according to Gill, first, approximately 1,000 personnel in the Information Management Division, IMD, and the FBI New York field office were assigned to the task, confirming the whistleblower account made to Senator Durbin's office. I can also confirm that a log exists tracking the mentions of Trump in the files, and that there were approximately 100,000 files containing roughly 300,000 pages. Individual analysts were told to flag mentions of Trump by document and page number by logging them in an Excel spreadsheet. Oh, I'd love to see that. Love to see that. Then they'd hand in their spreadsheet at the end of their sometimes 24 to even 48-hour shift. They're working overtime. But it's important to note that the agents were not told to flag Trump until later in a process that began in mid-March. Yes. 24 to 48 hours, though, for a shift. Again, they are working these people to the bone, again, to try to just find and erase Trump's name. She also noted that the process of reviewing the Epstein and Maxwell files was chaotic, and the orders were constantly changing, sometimes daily. One source described what was going on as quote unquote full panic mode. What do they have to be panicked about? I mean, that's the question. Why are you in a panic, bro? Why are you in a panic about this whole thing? I don't know. I mean, it's again, seems like Trump's pretty desperate to make sure his name does not appear anywhere in this document. I mean, come on. He's going to be in there a lot. But there's more. Gill writes, one person I spoke to on the condition of anonymity said that the files were stored on a shared drive that anyone in the division could access. Oh, that's weird. Normally, access is only granted to those working on the project, but because of the hurried nature of the exercise, the usual permission restrictions were not in place. Of course, that allows the, any whistleblowers to get access to it and then share it with other people. Additionally, the internal SharePoint site the Bureau ended up using to distribute the files towards the end did not have the usual restricted permissions. This left the Epstein and Maxwell files open to viewing by a much larger group of people than previously thought. Apparently, there are videos that exist of trainers explaining the process of flagging instances of Trump appearing in the files. And those videos went out on unclassified networks within the Bureau. So one of these videos could pop up. Fascinating. Oh, it also is of note that the trainers towards the end were folks not at the FBI, but from the Justice Department. Oh yeah, this is bad. This is not good at all. Holy crap. Now, what else did they find? Now, apparently, so far, from what we know, there was one confirmed mention of Trump in the files. This is according to an analyst who had reviewed it on the condition of anonymity. Beyond that, there were other instances of Trump appearing in the files, but the number of times and to what extent is currently unknown. But the log exists. Oh yeah. Look, if this is all true, if this is all legit, if this whistleblower is indeed correct, then that is pretty clear evidence of a attempt at a cover-up. I mean, that's what this is. That's what this is. It makes me think back to the catch and kill stories, right? Or the catch and kill plan for any negative stories about Trump before the 2016 election, for example. The National Enquirer had worked with Trump, David Pecker, okay, to try to find any negative stories involving the, at the time, future president, and to make those negative stories go away. And this is related, of course, to the 34 counts, felony counts, okay? Now, the difference here is, though, that this time he has access to federal resources. And so now he's using the federal government to catch and kill any mentions of his name within these files that they have access to that are potentially incriminating. Yikes. Kind of makes you look real guilty, this entire thing. Super guilty. But okay, that said, why not just keep going with the "they don't exist" line? I mean, it's not like they couldn't keep going with that, but they've changed their story several times. Because, well, and the reason that they're not going with the "they no longer exist" or they don't actually exist thing, and they're not going with that any longer, is because they tried it, no one bought it. Nobody believed it. I mean, when they came out and they said, "Oh no, Epstein files, just kidding, they don't actually exist. They weren't actually on Pam Bondi's desk." Everyone was like, even MAGA supporters were like, "Are you messing with me right now? That's no, I don't believe you. No, that's BS." Okay, so nobody believed it. So now they're leaning into a different explanation, as I had already mentioned, okay? So what I think is going to happen is that they're going to erase Trump from the files. Just gone, erased. And then they're going to release him. I mean, say, oh, we found him. It turns out, yep, they were there. They were there. They were real. And we're going to release them, okay? And of course, Trump's name will be completely scrubbed from them. Now, that said, if they're going so far as to erase Trump from the files, what makes you think that they wouldn't then decide, at least someone there, to add things to it, to add certain names? I mean, you could add Bill Clinton. He might already be there. Okay, so they might just leave that in if he is in there. They might even add, I don't know, James Comey or Obama. Anybody that they don't like, what's to stop them from adding things in, from adding names? And then if they do that and release the files, they'll be like, oh, not only is Donald Trump not on not in the list, not in these files, but look who we did find is in those files. Look, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I mean, it could happen. It could happen. And boy, would it be one hell of a scandal. Okay. I mean, yes, this is worse. This is worse than Watergate. Okay. Potentially. And man, except that it's not really Watergate. It'd be more like Sharpiegate at this point. Worse than that. Worse. I mean, this is about as bad as you could get. And yet, I wouldn't be surprised if they do this and MAGA immediately is like, oh, thanks God, he wasn't in the files after all. Woo, we were worried for I mean, we weren't really worried for a second. Of course not. But, now we have the real files. And so, therefore, we don't have to worry anymore. Again, I could see it happening. And so I don't trust the FBI anymore. I mean, not that I ever really did, but I don't trust the FBI. I don't trust, obviously, Donald Trump, Kash Patel, or any of these people. And this just further, cements as to why we shouldn't trust the things coming out of this regime. Because if they are going to these lengths to protect Donald Trump, who absolutely is certainly in these files, then, I mean, what else would they be willing to lie about? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.